Hello, kia ora and welcome to Kids Zone at Brimbank Libraries. My name is Sarah and today we are going to be learning how to play the spoons, and I'm also going to teach you a favourite family card game that our family loves to play on their holidays called Spoons, and it also involves spoons. So as we start, we'd like to say a big thank you to the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. Thanks for letting us share your land. We promise to look after it and the animals and the people too. Now, we're looking at spoons this week because you might have known that Brimbank Libraries has been running a series of community challenges where we have a different theme each week. We've been creating unicorns and popping those in our windows for people to enjoy when they go past on their morning walks. There've been teddy bears, all sorts of things. This week, theme is Spoonville. If you haven't seen a Spoonville before, it's the latest craze sweeping lockdown Melbourne, and Spoonville is where people are taking wooden spoons from around the house and they are decorating them, turning them into wee characters, and then planting them in gardens in wee groups. So we've seen Spoonvilles popping up all around Melbourne. You might like to have a look online and find out where the closest one to you is, and you can go and visit Spoonville on your daily walk maybe, or you can start one of your own. So in keeping with the spoon theme this week, I thought we could have a go at playing the spoons. Did you know that spoons are sometimes used as instruments? I didn't know that until I was a little bit older, and I saw somebody playing the spoons like an instrument, and I thought that's pretty cool. And yesterday I decided that I should have a go at learning how to do that myself. Turns out in some ways it's easy and in some ways it is hard. So I thought, let's have a go at learning to play the spoons. All you need to play the spoons are some spoons. So these two here that I'm using, these are dessert spoons. So, you know, there are different sizes of spoons. We've got, just so that we can see the different sizes here, this big daddy one, this is the tablespoon. Little bubby one here is the teaspoon. Round one here is the soup spoon. And the middle-sized one here, between the tablespoon and the teaspoon, this one is the dessert spoon. And I have been trying to play the spoons with the dessert spoon. So, you can experiment though. If you'd prefer to play the spoons with other spoons, have a go playing them with others if you like. What we're going to do, 2 spoons, you just need 2 spoons. And maybe let the other people in your house know that you're going to make a bit of noise for a wee bit because it can get noisy. So to play the spoons, we are going to pick up our first spoon and we're going to hold it. We're going to take our thumb and put our thumb down over the edge of the spoon like this. And our first knuckle underneath on the bottom like this. So I'm going to hold the spoon like this, and now I'm going to take the other spoon and we are going to put it in between the next 2 knuckles like this, so that our spoons aren't touching and they're back to back. So if you hold them up this way, it looks like they are facing away from each other. Someone said it's a little bit like they're mad at each other. So if you can hold your spoons like this, hold them quite tightly. And actually this is the hardest part I found is holding them like this. So maybe wave your arm around a wee bit and practice keeping them like that, because what we want to get good at is holding them like this without them slipping apart like that. So you'll probably find that you'll have to keep putting them back into place quite a few times. And like I said, I tried to teach myself how to play spoons yesterday, so I haven't been doing this very long and I still have trouble holding them in place. but I feel like it's going to get easier and easier the more you do it. And really, once we have our spoons held like that, that's the hardest part over with. So we're going to hold our spoons like that. Now the other thing, these are like our drumsticks, and what they're going to hit are each other and our hand and our leg or our knee. Please don't hit yourself too hard. We don't want any bruises or any ouchies. But what we're going to do to get going is we're going to start by holding our hand above our knee at about chest height. If you're sitting down, if you hold your hand about chest height, and what we're going to do then is we're just going to move our spoons up and down, hitting them on our knee, and then bring them up and hitting them on our hand. And we're going to try and do that without them moving apart. Actually quite hard. So you might like to spend a few minutes trying this. You might like to pause the video, go away and give it a go. Don't hit yourself too hard if you don't want any sore knees. But what we want to do is to be able to get a good steady beat going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think? Were you able to do it? Takes a bit, doesn't it? So once we're able to get the 1, 2, 3, 4 going, a good steady beat, and it might take a few tries, certainly lots of tries, and I still have the spoons slipping every now and then. Doesn't matter if they slip, you can just stop, pop them back into the starting position and have another go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is all very well and good. You can play along to your favourite song, just doing this. But it's not that interesting, is it? So one of the ways we can make it interesting is to emphasize one of the beats a bit more. So instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we could try, see what it sounds like if we emphasized beat number 3. So we're going to make that beat a little bit louder. And there are 2 ways we can do that. One of them is by hitting our leg a little bit harder on beat 3, but not too hard. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The other way we can do that is by slightly changing the position of the spoons. You can tilt them forward a bit so that this part of the spoon hits more of the front part of your knee, more of the curve of your knee. Do a little bit of an experiment and you might notice that it changes, the sound changes depending on the angle that the spoon hits it on. Lots of different sounds. So have a wee experiment and try 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I lost my spoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do all sorts of things. You can also experiment with different speeds, different rhythms, and we're going to show one other trick today. That's pretty cool, and that is, I'm going to take our other hand, the one that's not holding the spoons. So I'm holding the spoons in my right hand, because the right hand is the hand that I use to write with. If you use your left hand to write, you might prefer to hold the spoons in your left hand. But so if we take the hand that doesn't have the spoons in it, and we spread our fingers out, and we hold them quite steady and quite straight. We want to try and make them as straight and as stiff as we can so that they're not all floppy and going to move around. We want to hold them quite firmly, and what we're going to do is we're going to move the spoons down through the fingers, and I've just turned my spoons around again. So I'm just going to get my spoons back into position. Can you hear? It makes a little galloping sound like horses' hooves, which is pretty cool. So you can add that into your spoon rhythm mix. Two very, very basic spoons techniques. If you would like to learn from a real spoons teacher or learn something a little bit more advanced, if you find that you're actually quite good at this, not like me, please, there are lots of other videos on the internet. You could look for how to play the spoons videos and find some videos with instructions from people who are really good at it if you'd like to learn some really good tricks. But for now, that's the basics of playing the spoons. Have fun. The other thing I was going to teach you today is a wee card game. Now this is a card game that my family really enjoys playing. We played it together as kids, and now that all of us are grown up and adults, every time we all get together on big family holidays, we still play it, and we have a big spoons championship every year, and find out who the Home's Family Spoons champion is that year. So all you need to play the spoons card game are a deck of cards and some spoons. I'm going to go and get a deck of cards. Back in one moment. And welcome back. So I have jumped down onto the coffee table and found a deck of cards, and we're going to learn how to play spoons. So this game is really fun. It's more fun the more people you have. So it's really good if you are living in a house with lots of people. This game can be a really good one, but it still works even if there are only a few people in your house. But next time, once we're allowed out again, and the next time you're in a big group of people looking for a fun game, this is a real goodie. So spoons is kind of like musical chairs, in that the aim of the game is to always get a spoon. And first of all, we put some spoons out on the table, and we should have one less spoon than there are people. So if there are 6 people playing the game, we'll put out 5 spoons, which means that one person misses out on a spoon each round. Sometimes my family likes to play it. The first round we start with a spoon for everybody, just so that everybody gets to go and gets a feeling of grabbing the spoon. So you might like to start with 1 spoon per person, and then we take one away for the next round. So what we do is we grab 6 or however many spoons you need, and we lay them out in the middle of the table. And my family is very picky about laying them out fairly so that they're all within reaching distance of everybody who's sitting around the table. You'd have everyone else sitting around the table with their spoons lined up down the middle. And we'll take our deck of cards, give it a shuffle. I've shuffled these ones already. And then we're going to deal. The dealer is going to deal 4 cards to every person. 1, 2. So the dealer would deal 4 cards to every person, then hand out their hands to the others. And when you get your cards, you pick them up, have a look, and what we're looking for, what you're trying to get, is either 4 of a kind, so 4 kings or 4 sevens or 4 twos or 4 jacks, 4 of a kind, or a straight of the same suit. So you might get 5, 6, 7, 8 of diamonds all in a row, or ace, king, queen, jack of clubs. The aim of the game is to get either 4 a straight, so 4 in a row of the same suit, or 4 of a kind, all 4 of the same card. So 4 jacks, 4 aces, 4 sevens, 4 threes, that sort of thing. And what we do is the dealer will start by picking up a card from the pile of all the leftover cards. They'll pick up one card, they'll look at it really quickly and decide whether it's one they want to keep. If I've picked up a 3 and I don't have any other 3s in my hand, but I do have, this is a 3 of hearts, I do have a 2 of hearts, so I might keep that 3 because I've got 2, 3, and then I could be going for 4, 5 as well. So they take a split second to decide whether they want to keep the card they've just picked up, and they have to put another card down. They have to discard one. So I've picked up one, and they discard it by passing it to the person on their left. So I might get rid of my King of Spades, and I would pass it to the person on the left, and then the dealer will pick up another card, and the person on their left at the same time, they pick up that card, and they do the same thing. They'll look at that card, they'll take a second to decide whether they want to hold on to it, and if they don't, they pass it on to the next person. If they do, they put it into their hand, and they pass another card on to the next person. So by the time it goes around the table, everybody is receiving a card at the same time, and then passing on a card at the same time. And this keeps going and going and going with this constant pick up, yep, put down, pick up, yep, put down. And this goes on and on and on until somebody gets 4 of a kind, or 5, 6, 7, 8, or a straight of the same suit. Once you get that, if it's you who gets this first, you can grab a spoon. And you can either reach straight out and grab a spoon like that, or you could very gently and subtly pick up a spoon and take it away. And what happens then is everyone else grabs a spoon. And because there's one less spoon than there are people, that means the person who notices that the spoons are going missing last misses out, and then they're out of that round. So this is lots of fun, but it can get very loud. Sometimes it can get a bit dangerous if your brothers and sisters are like my brothers and sisters. If your brothers and sisters are like my brothers and sisters, and some of them like to cheat, they might do things like one of them pretends that they've got the spoons, and they'll sort of slap their hand on the table to try and scare everyone else into grabbing a spoon. If you take a spoon, if you're the first person, if you take a spoon and you don't have 4 of a kind or a straight, oh, Eloise the cat wants to play as well. If you fake having the cards you need and you're the first person to grab a spoon and everyone grabs a spoon, you then have to show your cards to prove that you had the cards that you needed. If you didn't, if you were just faking it, you're then out of that round. So you lose that round. So you have to wait. You have to have the right cards. And that's it. And so once you take away a spoon, so the person who missed out on a spoon that round, they're out. And then you take one spoon away, and we start the whole thing again with one less spoon and one less person. And it goes round and round and round until finally comes down to the final 2 people with 1 spoon sitting in the middle between them. Whew, it's a lot of pressure then. What my family sometimes does, once we get down to 2 people, oh, Eloise is just playing with the spoons. She wants to be in the video. Once it gets down to the final 2 people, we might grab another 2 people to be dealers for that person to make life a bit easier to pass cards around. Totally up to you, but spoons is a great fun game. It's fun for people of all ages. I'd recommend it for maybe 6-year-olds and up, but adults love playing it too. So there we have it. We have learned how to play the spoons. Well, sort of. Started learning how to play the spoons. And we've learned a new card game called Spoons. Hope you enjoy them. Have fun. See you next time. Ka kite.